The most important scene of a project is when you know that, oh, this scene is going to be the thumbnail for my YouTube video short film thing. This frame over here is going to be the thumbnail of the short film, hopefully. So we're putting a lot of love into this. Let's get started. So I have the animatic, and it's this thing over here. Okay, I have the animatic. Now the only thing that I have to do is post this character on top of the animatic and add some rough animation. But before doing that, I need to polish some of the stuff that I have on the animatic, some of the perspective thing. So let's talk about composition first of all, which for me is very important to be aware of, and that's something that we cannot avoid in order to create proper build stuff. So the this is the composition. Look at this. We have this rule of thirds, and if I track the middle or the center of the screen is around here. And that's something that I learned is that we never put the horizon line at the center of the composition. So I have more options. Do I put it here or do I put it over here? And here I wanted to put it around here. Now what I'm going to do here is like a push perspective where I'm going to make all of this rounded. So imagine this is the horizon line. What I'm going to do with that horizon line is make that horizon line rounded here. Tuki. Tuki. And I remember like I was in I was in one class with one of my mentors, and we were looking at the background design from Cow and Chicken, and I was like, I don't understand how is that this perspective of these backgrounds are like super rounded. It's like you just grab the horizon line and and then when you do that, it's like if the vanishing point is here, for example. If the vanishing point is here, for example, the only thing that you do is just curve all of those lines towards that vanishing point. If I remember properly, if you say that. Otherwise, it still makes sense for me. So I will just do that and yeah, try to create that round perspective here. And if I want to create, for example, here the sidewalk, I can create some rocks here. And same thing, I'm using only CSI lines to create here. Look at that. Tuki. So I'm creating shapes and adding volume to those shapes to create these assets here in the background. Look at that. And I'm always creating dynamic shapes. Cool. So this will work for now. This will work for now because this is what I'm going to use to pose my character. And apart from all of this, I have something more, which is going to be the 3D box that this character exists within. So I'm going to grab here and I'm going to create a box. Tuki. So I'm tracking the extreme points of this character, which are around here, where the dot of these legs are, or in this case, where this head is, and I'm creating parallel lines here. Parallel lines here, Tuki. Look at that. Awesome. And now, the moment of posing this character, I'm going to use this box to help me create a very solid pose here. Look at that, Tuki. And then I can grab the color green here and reduce the opacity. I can reduce the opacity over there. Then I can have a new color, for example, a black color, and I can start polishing things around here, for example. Even though I really like this pose, for example, here I can add something like this. So it feels like it's more badass like that. And here I can do something like this. Tuki. I can push this shape a little bit higher. And now, how is that I use this perspective grid, for example? If I want to create this leg, and I want it to feel like it's grounded, I can use these lines here to help me build, for example, here, the base of this foot. And the moment that I have to put this leg on top of this will already be following that perspective that I established with the box around the character. Cool, am I recording all good? Yes, sir. And here we have the nails. There you go, something like that. I'll polish that later, but just an idea. And then here we have the shoulders. Now, before starting to draw all of this without the character rig, I'll start doing a fast blocking with my rig. So, where is it? So when the moment of doing draw overs comes, I will be using the blocking that I use with my rig instead of the drawing that I use on my animatic. So, time to post this really fast. Let me block everything that is not the, the character to key, and then I start moving stuff. Here I changed the mouth drawing of this chihuahua, and that immediately give me this mouth open. Look at that, I have the closed and the open. So that's the open one, and then what I do is trying to track the shapes closer to what I have on the pneumatic. Something like that. There you go. And then move this stuff around. The blocking is really simple. Blocking is really simple, not a big deal. There you go. For example, the eyes here will be something like this. Cool. And I don't care too much about this because I'm going to fix that eventually. Cool. So there you go. That will be enough for that blocking. For this one over here, Tuki. I like how it's stretching here on one side and it's squashing on the other one. So that's something that I'm going to play around with this neck. Hello. 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 There you go. Now I reuse that pose from that frame, and that's the basic blocking. And on top of this basic blocking, I'm going to start designing my badass poses. Before doing that, let me just move this a little bit here. Okay, I love the mouth of this order. Let me see if I can reuse any mouth from here. Yes, I can reuse this head. So I'm going to copy this head and paste it here. Ah, what happened? So I'm going to grab again this head and paste it here. Why is that? What is this crazy stuff? Okay, I will just make it like that never happened. Then grab this head, move it here, move it next here because I want to have something closer to the animatic. So I'm going to look at the animatic and try to deform this character until I get exactly what I'm looking at in the animatic. And not exactly because I don't want to be I don't want to do a perfect job right now because I'm going to do a draw over, and on the draw over is where I'm going to push all of these shapes. So it doesn't matter to spend a lot of time right here, right now. I can move this behind. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We are progressing on this blocking, which I am getting distracted and doing more than I should, but there you go. That's the blocking. Okay, wait. So this, there you go, something like that. Let's bring back the get out of here. There you go, the 3D box. Time to do the draw over. So I'm disabling this. All the color black. I need this to select the stroke with current color. Get rid of this. Now, this is why I didn't did this draw over on top of the animatic, because I knew with the rig I was going to do some new changes that was going to look different from the rig. Cool. So now I have the opportunity to draw on top of all of this. Cool. So I'm going to use a purple color to start doing some drawovers and just translating what I have here over here. So I want to push. I want to start very, very rough. I want to show here, for example, this is squash here, this part inflating, this part is stretching. So I want this to feel like that. I want to add also two lines here to show like it's like a little like, "Arr." So this is going like crazy here. I feel I want to push this mouth. I feel like I need to push this mouth. Let's see how we do that. Here, for example, I am trying to look at this negative space, and this negative space is a volcano. Remember the volcano? Or like knives? So I'm trying to create dynamic shapes here, and then put one line in all of these here. Now, what else? Here, I love how much that shape is going out there. And I want to push that here too. I want to push this even more like this. I want to push these shapes even more so it looks very graphic. Now this is going backwards. So this is something like this actually, but I'm cheating this a little bit so it looks flat. To make it look flat. But still, look at that. Look at how these shapes are here and this shape is here. So everything is very dynamic. The nose, Tuki, awesome. And then here the eyes. Yeah, I love the eye. How open is the eye over here? Maybe I can move that eye out of this silhouette so it looks even more crazy. I can create a new eye, create an overlay layer on that eye, and add this drawing of the eye on that overlay layer. Maybe I can animate this thing moving up and down because I want it to look really badass. Cool. And then here the ear. That way. And this other one could be something like this. And the apex I needed around here. So I can show this eye like that. There you go. Look at that. Look at how organic now my drawer feels compared to just the thing that I did with the rig. That's why it's so important to push all of this stuff. Awesome. And now looking at this, I feel like this have to be a little bit smaller because this is going up in the distance. So I want this to be smaller. There you go. Now maybe I want this to be something like this. Yeah, to feel more stretchy. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Oh, look at that. I'm thinking about how cool this will look like in a short film thumbnail, like in a movie poster or something like that. Look at that. Cool. Now we have this other dude here, which is screaming. Which is screaming something like this. There you go. And then we have teeth, which are going to be super big like this. We have the nose. And then here we have the head. That here the head I can maybe one line into a C S here. Something like that. Cool. Here's where I need the 3D box. I'm going to show you something. For example, look at that. The 3D box is going that way, this is going this way. And that is a key for me to knowing how is that I'm going to create this inner part of the mouth. So yeah, that is that way, that is this way. So if I want to create an inner part of the mouth, the horizontal line that is going to be here is going to follow that way. And this one too. But we are not seeing that upper one. So I'm thinking how to connect this shape into something like that. So all of these will follow that perspective. We're having this thing here like this. Cool. We have more teeth there. And then this mouth, this head is stretching also. Cool. So we have something like this. This eye will be crazy like that, and this one will be crazy like this too. There you go. I wanted to feel like this dude is fucking crazy. You have these lines over here. Yeah, I want to move the ears that way, so we have this composition going around and around. This is going here, and then we're going around. There you go. And then here we stretch this. And I need to move this a little bit more towards the outside. So it actually feels it's stretching. Here I want to feel this neck. Awesome. Tuki. Yeah, we are not seeing here this back part of the character. I can do that, but it doesn't make too much sense. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. Let's connect all of this together, then something like that. So everything makes sense. Straight, so here we have a curve, an S, and then a straight here. Yeah, this looks really badass. And I can even add lines here to show it's screaming like crazy. Maybe I can move this up. Yeah. Now it looks more badass. There you go. Look at the comparison. This is where I'm doing these drawovers, because I need a lot more information here, and that's what I'm doing with these drawings. Pushing all of that. Time 26 minutes. Cool. Here I want to push this angle more down here, and then we're going up. Then we're going up like this. Boom. Cool. Here I'm trying to create this volcano here. Oh yeah, I need to change this also so it feels like it's a stretching too. Simplifying and stuff here. And maybe this I can move a little bit higher. So I'm going to do a draw over here, and then I'm going to move the drawing a little bit more to have more space and show that stretching thing. I love this hand drawing that I did here. So I'm going to copy and paste it there. Cool. So Tuki. This could be bigger. Now I'm pushing this. And then we're going like this. We're seeing only this part of the arm. I wanna know. Bam! And then here we have teeth. Awesome. And then here we have the arm. So we have this negative space between these two. And then here we have the hair. There I can move around towards a little bit towards the inside. Tuki, Tuki, Tuki. So I'm always looking to create silhouettes and finding spaces to create this negative space with a very volcano shape to make it feel like that dynamic. Cool. Look at that. 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 Cool. Now the arms, the arms. Look at that angle. Amazing what I did there with the blocking. So here, this could be something like this, and that will do the job here. Boom. Then here, this will be like this. This will be like this. Also, now the chest. It will be something like this. And then towards the inside, here we have the arm. I like how this is pushed down. So I'm going to just replicate what I have here and here. Now this foot will be a little bit towards the front because it's smashing that thing. Look at that. And this one could be a little bit more behind and even looking that way to create some asymmetry. Tuki. There you go. So this is looking this way, this is looking that way, and here we're having the thumb. I'll have to check in which side we are right now of the screen in order to put the robotic arm there. Boom, there you go. We have something like this. Here I feel like we can totally have like a more towards the front view of this leg. Tuki. Tuko. There you go, beautiful. Boom bam. And then here. Yeah, I like what I would have there. So looking that way. So alive. Boom. Cool. That's the pose. Maybe I want a 3/4 view. Took some. Now I don't like something here. Yeah, maybe the eye, because I want this to feel like it's going backwards, but the eye overlapping is making this feel like it's going towards the front. So I might just do something like this and keep it really flat. Cool. Yep, something like that will work. What else? What else do I have to do? I want to push this part of the mouth higher. So I want it to feel like. "Rrrr." Tuki tuki tukatakum. Tuki tuki tuki. So now I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to grab all of this and move it more this way. So I can stretch this even more. Here I need to add some stretchy lines. Don't ask me questions. Okay, the pose is there. That's it. That's the pose. Next step is blocking the rig, but still I'm not satisfied with this. Extend. There you go, a little bit more that way. Mirror. I need to make this smaller. I need to do it also a little bit more this way. Beautiful. There you go. Time to block. I wanted a little bit more this way. Stop, Henry, stop. Move forward. I'm like, no. There you go. Beautiful. Look at that rig. Look at the rig. I'm going to create a before and after so you can see how much it actually changes when I am working. Of course, this is broken, but how much it actually changes when you draw overs on top. How much you can push the rigs. So bring that dude towards the top, towards the front, and I'm going to shut up for a second while I post this because it's going to take some time. It's boring as F. Cool. See you in a minute. Put like a Linkin Park music in the background so you can feel like I'm feeling. Continue. I continue. Look at this, for example. This thing is totally broken. The former is out of its place. I don't know why, and I will not understand why, but I just start moving the thing. It's like, okay, whatever. If it's there, I will just keep moving the stuff until I get what I want here. And yeah, the results were very accurate, so chill with that. And I continue. It takes guts to be gentle and kind. That's a good thing to talk about. So that's something that I just heard right now on the Jeff Buckley song. So it's a good point. Love is natural and real. I remember one of my all-time favorite mentor I asked once. If you can lead a message to the young generation of animators, what will it be? What advice would you leave? And he was like, to be more kind to others. And I really love that. Me waiting for an animation answer or for an animation advice that could help the society, the help the techniques of people, and then I receive that answer like to be more kind with other people. And I'm very glad that I received that answer instead of other kind of answer because I'm seeing the importance of it more and more as time goes by. And it's a wonderful advice. At the end, we are not going to be remembered by the work that we do. Maybe, but I think we're going to be remembered more by make how we made other people feel. And of course, it's a lifetime, so it's like it will be moments in which we are going to we are going to fail to other people. We might break someone's heart. we might we might experience pain in different ways, but at least remembering to go back to that main state of just being kind, even though stupid and rough things happened. That's a good thing to to go back to. Just being kind with others, even though you already hurt someone or someone hurt you. There you go. We didn't intend it to be this profound. Come on, what the heck are you? It is really true. Like I remember, like my grandpa have this thing that is this type of dementia with when you forget the stuff and remember the name when you I don't know. I'm forgetting. Do you think when you forget Alzheimer? So he have Alzheimer and dementia, and I remember when I used to see him at the starting of all of this stuff, like starting to when he starts to lose his memory and all of that. I remember he was talking about the same thing and the same thing and the same thing one all over again. It was specific. It was a story, and it was the story of how his boss at the time helped him buy the house that I grew up with, living on with. So he was always telling the same story, and just telling always like how great his boss was, like at the moment, how much he helped him in order to be able to buy his house and all that stuff. And he always says same the story, told the same story, and he was always starting with like, did I already told you about the story of? Yeah, yeah, you did. Anyways, he just went into telling the story once again, and the story was like, yeah, he started being the assistant of his boss. He was just speaking the phone. He was speaking the phone of the office from the office he was working on, and then one tip that he always gave us, to me, to my brothers, is like, always if you see someone pushing a car, always go there and try to push the car, even though at least put the hand, to show that you are trying at least. And that's something that helped him, to ascend in this studio, this agency, this whatever he was working, this business he was working at the time. And his boss was so much in great he was so grateful with him that the moment that he needed to buy a house, he literally, the boss at the time, according to the stories, increased the salary of my grandpa, and that was the thing that allowed him to buy a house back in the time in Ecuador. And that is actually the house that I grew up in, and when I go back to Ecuador I visit the same house. And right now, when he looks around the house, he's like, "Oh, this is a beautiful hotel." He's right now like, "Oh, this is a beautiful hotel. When are we going home?" It's like, "No, this is your house." "No way, this is my house." Yes, yeah, this is your house. You're at home. Let me let me let me come here. Let's me just create a new deformer because this deformer was super screwed up. So come on, why display tree Dookie, and use free deformer to start drawing these things here. So yeah, and when I hear that thing that we are going to be remembered not by the work that we do, but by how we make other people feel, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? There's something more meaningful than just pursuing all the materialistic goals that I have. And is life as a game is funnier when you're playing with friends, when you're playing with other people. What is the meaning of playing in a big open map that is this world alone? It's like, no, dude, put me amazing people around me. I want to play with amazing people around me. Tuki. There you go. Let me just fix this one. There is a screw up too. Do the former. You know what? Let me just draw it again. Me changing my mind every 5 seconds here. Let's deform this. My man of war. Man of war. To you. Bang and pam pam. There you go, it's done. Beautiful. More squashy there. There you go, we're going well, we're going well. Let's continue. How long is this video? Oh shit. You're my man of war. In the world. Oh yeah. Okay, the pose is ready. The pose is ready. Let's look at. Let's take the drawer out of here for a second. I don't like this port here, so I'm just getting rid of this and creating something like this straight here. Tuki. There you go. So we connect from the back all the way there, and then we have the neck here. Tuki tuki. All good. Perfect. That's what we need from for now. Now, what else do I need? Tuki, tuki, tuki. What else do I need? I need the following. I need to create the arm of the robot here and put it attach it to the mouth of the robot. I'm going to divide that in pieces so I can animate the fingers. And I'm going to rig that arm really fast to design that arm real fast, and then I'm going to do a little loop animation of here this dog is screaming like crazy. And yeah, all of the dogs being like doing crazy stuff. Cool. So I'm going to rig that arm right now. So time to create the arm. What I did is create a layer for the arm, for the palm, for the fingers, for the index, for the thumb. So all of this is going to be inside of this master peg that is going to be the hand master peg. Hand MP. And then the vase, this is going to be the arm. So I'm going to have another one that is going to be arm MP master peg. And I'm going to attach this base with the arm MP there, and I'm going to move this base over here. So let's start drawing this. What I'm going to have here is the arm, the tube form of the arm here into something like that. And I'm going to close this into something like this, Tuki. And I'm going to create here a base so I can squash and stretch this base if needed to create more sense of depth, even though I have to I have to also keep myself from stop myself from adding more unnecessary animation that's needed. So I'm trying to be conscious about the decisions that I'm making at this point. This is going to be the inner part of the arm. There you go. So this is going to be the base. Grab the pivot point and put it there. Arm, grab the pivot point, put it there. Here on this arm, I'm going to create something like this. We have highlight and shadows. We go here to the air fryer colors, and then we go here to color transfer properties, press K, and start picking colors here. So these are the colors of the arm. So these are the highlights, these are the shadows. Cool, there you go. And then the base of the arm, which I'm going to add a different color here. There you go. I like that. I like that. Now, no, I'm going to move all of this upper arm. Pivot point from here, move it up. There you go. And I can move this as convenient as I want. There you go. Look at that pace. Looks beautiful. Better silhouette here between the neck and the arm. And then I need the other arm. First, let's start with the palm. So for the palm, I want to push this shape and make that shape look more pushed. So smaller line here at the bottom and thicker line here. Look at that. So we're tapering towards one side. Thumb there. Tuki. Tuki, 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 tuki. There you go. Beautiful. And then time to color this. So transfer all of these colors here. Oh, we should. Wow, what happened, Harry? I'm going to put all of these fingers into separate layers. So palm. So this finger come here. Node view, thumb. Done. The palm should be in front of all of these fingers. I'm going here, index, put it here. There you go. Now the other one, the other two fingers, I'll put it on the same layer here and move them individually. There you go. Index, palm, and thumb. Cool. So we have all of this layered here. Hand, Tuki. I can move all of this at once. And then I need another layer, which is going to be forearm. Forearm, Tuki. And then I'll put it here. Create a peg, Command P, and then attach this into the forearm MP. So the forearm MP will move the head, and this will be connected to this one. So time to draw the forearm. Let's go here to the line, and this will be something like this. Yep, good. Now here we have the light and shadows. Then I'll copy all of this into the line art because incorrectly I put it on the color art, and then I'll transfer all of these properties. Transfer, dude. Come on. No, where it is? Here. Okay. Let's go again. Transfer. Beautiful. It's too many lines. What the heck? What the heck is this? Too many lines. Whatever. Arms. Light. Shadows. Let's look at that, dude. Here on the color. Need to color this line. I need to color. Oopsie. Need to color this other line. Good. Then pivot point of this here. Cool. So I can animate all of these individual pieces. Look at that. I can move all of this if I want. Tuki, so I can proceed with the loop animation. Sounds good. Sounds cool. Got it. So, oh, I need the arm here too. So I'm going to go to the preview scene and grab the arm from the previous scene and drag it here. So I'm going to show you how to do so. I'm going to here, scene 26 stump. Look at that scene there. Boom. Tuk, 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 tuk. And what I want to do is grab this arm. So I'm going to grab all of this. Command C, go to library, harmony, right click, right to modify, Chihuahua, broken arm, okay, save. Let's get out of here, close. Let's go back to the other scene, 27. And now we're going here to the oopsie, where is that? Oh, look at before and after of those frames. Look at the before and after. Now I'm going here and I'm going to grab the right to modify, Chihuahua, broken arm, layers. So I'm going to grab it, move it here, and connect this with the main composition. There you go, we have the arm. And actually, I only need the broken one, so is this one? Oh, it's this one. I only need this. And maybe with the same animation that we have there. So I'm going to bring all of these back towards the first frame. It's like, feels like a cockroach. I don't need this arm. Get out of here. The el charco, Tuki. And then move this there. That looks good. What if I flip this? No. Yeah, that looks good. Now from the previous frame, I think if I flip this, whatever, I'll put it there. Something like this. Cool. And then I'll grab the arm and move the arm closer to here. There you go. So it's like, cool. And then I can move this, flip it, put it here. I'll have to check which is the best camera view here, like comparing with the previous scene. How is I rotate the camera so it actually works here? It's okay. I think this will be this way. This is lazy me trying to just make reuse stuff and hope that that works. Cool. Yeah, that works. That works. That works. So this is the before and after of the posing, as you can see. With the drawovers, we have huge improvements, and that's the intention of all of this. Doing a very intentional work on the things that we do to have very amazing results. Look at that. And now I'm going to create a loop animation, which I have two options: either putting a lot of love and attention into that, or just doing some fast stuff like cool. So I'll go for the second one. I'll go for the second one. I wanted his arm to look thicker. There you go, something like this, not too thick. Awesome, so we have something like that. So for example, what can I do here? Let's key here, let's key here. No, let's key here. I'm going to play around. I'm going to improvise this animation. I'm not expecting anything here. So for example, I am marking this key here because I want to create a loop. Mark frame red, mark frame red, mark frame red, and then that's the length of my loop. Now here, for example, on this dude, I want to be like, so here in this frame over here, I can grab all the things that construct the mouth and start moving around. I can even move the teeth to create more feeling of like moving all of this like this. And of course, this will be affected, this will be influenced by that weird movement of the dog. Even these could be affected, something like that. And then this eye also will be affected. Something that I like to do in my rig animation is move each individual part, even though I'm animating something in specific, just to make it feel like everything is moving. Like in traditional animation, the line feel alive because you are drawing the drawing on every new frame that you are having. So that's something that we are losing sometimes in rig animation because we just animate the thing that we need to animate and we forget about all the other stuff that is also being influenced by that. What the heck I'm talking, dude? Say for example, I could move these up like that, Tuki, and if I flip, look at that, all of those changes. I can even move those lines there. I can move these two. Look at that. Move these two, so everything moves, everything moves. And also the head, we can do like this. And then I'll grab the entire head and go like that. Then on this frame over here, I'm going to, instead of copy and paste here this, I'm going to do something different. Well, at least I'm going to copy and paste that frame, but I'm going to do some tweaks because I want this loop to feel asymmetrical. I don't want it to feel like it's going just from point A to point B. So I am moving all of this in a different way on purpose just to create another feeling. And you will like, Henry, that's super simple. Yeah, but just doing little stuff will, I hope, will make the difference and will come out with something really cool. And then I will desynchronize the timing of some of this stuff. So we have up, down. Here, for example, I can move this down into something like this. Just like a circus. I'm trying to make this like a circus, like a lot of sounds going to happen here. A lot of stuff is going to happen here. Taka, 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 taka. Taka, taka. Tuku, 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 tuku. Random stuff for now. Cool. Awesome. And now I'm going to copy, I'm going to animate the other stuff. What if this dude is something like this? Yeah, it's very fucked up. This dude is like, oh I'm biting you. I'm going to destroy you, dude. Super pissed off. So there you go, new changes. New changes that I didn't expect it, but that I like. Boom, boom, boom. There you go, beautiful. Now I'm going to copy these changes that I did. I'm going to copy and paste it throughout here. Taka, taka, taka. And what I'm going to do with this is like being like, so here I can get rid of this frame in the middle. I'm going inside of here. I want to change, I want to make this frame go like more towards camera here. There you go. And here on the other one, then we're seeing only here the half of the nose. So we're having this rotation of the head. Look at that. And now, of course, I need to move the mouth. I need to move that mouth. Why is this breaking? Okay, so it's the head. Chill. Chill, baby, Tuki. There you go. So we have Tuki, 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 Tuki. And then this arm will follow Tuki, Tuki. I'm tracking that position there. There you go. Tuki, Tuki, Tuki. So Tuki, when it goes towards the front, this arm could be like Tuki. Something like this. There you go. And then here. Tuko. There you go. We're moving. We are rotating this dude. Normally I do a rough pass before committing into an animation, but this time I am improvising this in, so which I shouldn't. But let's see if I come up with something really cool. Taka, 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 taka. So here the head can move. This can rotate a little bit too. Oh, now I'm missing some movement here. Ah, no, it's moving, yeah. Okay. No, this will not work. It's going to look so limited. So let's do a rough pass just to find out what I'm going to do. So this is the posing. Where's the drawing? Is here. So let's animate this scene. You know what? I'm going to record another video because this is going to be a really long video. And I'm going to cut it here. So, in this video, I show you how to pose this character, how to use drawovers to create amazing poses, how to rig that arm and include it, make it feel like it's attached to that dog over there. And now what I'm going to do on another video is animate this, create a rough animation and create a loop. Or hopefully, if I don't decide to create another video and just make one edit, you will see Henry in the future coming here and finishing this dude animations. On the next video, Henry is possessed by the legendary animators and decided to create a really badass traditional animation showing how to do a rough pass in order to create this three-headed mutant chihuahua screaming like crazy. See you in the next video.